Alright, guys, today we're going to be reacting to German politics, election, and voting in Germany. Very, 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 very hot topic lately. Germany is going through a lot. This might be a good way to introduce myself to German politics and see how these people work over there. Because I really focus, I have no idea how German politics is. So this is going to be a good introduction. Hopefully, they can go step by step, and that can help me to understand at least the basic. And then from there, I can move left, right, up, and down. Okay. So let's just jump in. Make sure you go to my Discord. Links in the description. Also in the comment section as a pinned comment. Let's jump in.
Has had different names and designs over the years, reflecting just how much political upheaval it has seen. At the turn of the 20th century, Germany was a constitutional monarchy. After World War I, the Weimar Republic was established, bringing with it Germany's first taste of democracy and universal suffrage. But just 14 years later came the Nazi dictatorship. After the Second World War, Germany was split in two, with each new state heading in completely different political directions. In the West, a parliamentary democracy was re-established under Allied supervision. In the East, a communist dictatorship, largely controlled by the Soviet Union, took hold. That brings us to this very room here in the city of Bonn. It was specifically designed to house the West German parliament, which had outgrown its previous home. But not long before the project was finished, the Berlin Wall fell, and it was decided that Berlin would be the capital of a newly reunified Germany. So it was goodbye to this place, and hello to this one, the Reichstag building in Berlin. The Bundestag, or federal parliament, is directly elected by the German people. But there's another part to the German legislature. This is the Bundesrat, made up of state leaders and other politicians appointed by the state governments. Its main function is to vote on legislation put forward by the Bundestag. The highest political office in Germany is that of the federal president, hence the fancy residence. Then comes the president of the Bundestag, and then the chancellor. But of course, the chancellor gets a lot of the limelight, especially internationally. There's no limit to how long someone can hold this office.
Shout out to those great buildings, man. They look beautiful, right? Very nice and clean. I like it.
Both Helmut Kohl and Angela Merkel racked up a whopping 4 terms or 16 years each.
Man.
Federal elections take place every 4 years, and they're only open to German citizens over the age of 18. Oh, that counts me out then. Check out this ballot paper. Looks complicated, right? But basically, the electoral system is a mixture of plurality voting and proportional representation. And every voter gets 2 votes. The Erststimme, or first vote, is for a candidate from the local constituency. The candidate with the most votes is elected to represent the constituency in the Bundestag. The Zweitstimme, or second vote, is given to a party. The proportion of votes they get in this part of the ballot will then be reflected in the number of seats they get overall in Parliament. Still confused? Let's look at it like this. Let's say that 150 candidates from a particular party are directly elected in the first vote. The party then gets 30% of the second vote. There are 598 permanent seats in the Bundestag, and 30% of 598 is 179 to the nearest whole. So that's the number of representatives the party must have overall. They already have 150 from the first vote, so now they get to send 29 more. Each party has a list of candidates, so they take 29 extra candidates starting from the top and working down. But if the number of candidates directly elected in the first vote is higher than the number of representatives the party should receive according to the second vote, then they have extra seats, known as Überhangmandate. In this case, the other parties are granted more seats too, known as Ausgleichsmandate, until the proportion is correct. This means the Bundestag is not always the same size. After the 2017 election, there were 709 members of parliament, making it the largest freely elected parliament in the world. There is one caveat. Parties must reach at least 5% of the second vote, or win 3 seats in the first vote, before they can send any party list candidates to the Bundestag. This threshold is aimed at maintaining stability and avoiding fragmentation in Parliament by eliminating small fringe parties. One consequence of the voting system in Germany is that coalition governments are the norm. The party that wins the most seats overall is still unlikely to have an absolute majority, so it will need the support of one or more other parties in order to govern.
Die Koalitionen an sich sind ja keine schlechte Sache.
Finde ich eine sehr tolle Idee.
Grundsätzlich finde ich das gut, die Meinung.
Oh, this was 2 years ago, huh? 2 years ago. I would like to know how this goes to what happened a couple days ago. How that, that connection, like, well, this is more about how the system worked, but why, if the system was working, why, you have these people going crazy.
Der Bevölkerung abzubilden.
Das dauert natürlich dann vielleicht auch immer, sich dann wirklich mal auf so eine Sache zu einigen.
Man trifft sich oft in der Mitte, muss Kompromisse eingehen und das halte ich schon für richtig. Ja.
Naja, ich finde es eigentlich nicht so gut, weil ich habe das ja so dann eigentlich nicht gewählt.
Wenn eine Partei die meisten Stimmen bekommen hat und dann aber trotzdem nicht an die Regierung kommt, weil durch eine Koalition von anderen Parteien diese Partei dann ausgeschlossen wird, dann ist es nicht der Bürgerwille, der repräsentiert wird.
Oh,
Each coalition
I see.
combo gets a nickname
see.
based on the party's
I
colours.
see.
For
So
example,
even though you voted for the majority of people, that means the German people voted for the majority, these two parties can say, you know what, we don't care that you're the majority, we're stepping in. Kind of a thing. Am I seeing that correctly?
the Jamaica Coalition, the Traffic Light Coalition, or the Kiwi Coalition. All this negotiation can mean that election night is a bit of an anticlimax. You know who's won the most seats, but not necessarily which parties will be in power. In 2017, it took 5.5 months for Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats to form a coalition government. They
Damn.
ended up back with the Social Democrats in a union known as the Große Koalition, Big Coalition, or more catchily, the GroKo. Let's see which
tall, the
parties have
big.
made it into parliament in
Groß,
recent years.
that's what it means, right?
The Left Party has its
Groß mean tall or big or wide.
roots in the German Democratic Republic, and most of its voters still come from states in the former East. The Social Democratic Party has traditionally been the party of the working classes and trade unions. The Greens are most popular with well-educated younger city dwellers. The Christian Democratic Union, together with its Bavarian sister party, the Christian Social Union, is popular among churchgoers, rural voters, and the over 60s. The Free Democratic Party has its base among the self-employed and business owners. In 2017, Alternative for Germany became
Oh.
the first far-right party
Oh, I see. This is the one, right? This is the one that went crazy.
to enter parliament since the late 50s. Its voters are mostly male, Eurosceptic, and anti-immigration.
Oh. Oh. I see.
One way to get a flavour for what the parties stand for is by checking out their Wahlplakate or election posters. These go up suddenly overnight, and it's first come, first serve, with volunteers seeking out the best lampposts in town to get their message across to voters. The slogans and designs have varied over the years, from clever
Man,
to
politics is
obscure
the same
to
everywhere,
downright
man.
weird.
Ob jetzt Wahlwerbung
Yeah.
wirkt, kann man letztlich gar nicht sagen.
Yeah, politics is almost the same everywhere, man. Flyers everywhere, on Clean Street because they would need to put all the flyers. But you have to. I mean, that's the system that they're playing. If you don't put your flyer on, you're behind the game.
Ich glaube, es wird jetzt nicht so sein, dass man sich jetzt Wahlwerbespots und ein paar Plakate an der Straße anschaut und sagt, nee, die SPD ist nichts mehr für mich, ich wähle jetzt CDU. Jeder Wähler weiß, das sind die großen Probleme der nächsten.
I have to disagree because when they put these flyers, it's just more about the subconscious. And I remember one time I was bored. I was voting back in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and there was one guy. He was a representative Senate from the area that I lived. I didn't know anybody, and there was this guy. He just put so many flyers that I said, I guess I'm voting for this guy because this is the only one that I know is putting flyers. I don't care. I didn't care if he was trying to lower taxes or increase taxes. I didn't care. This guy was putting flyers, so I voted. Of course, that was me back then. That I didn't know anything about politics, but it was my first time casting a vote. This is that kind of people is what these politicians are going for. They're not trying to convince the smart one. The smart ones always ask questions, so they're the hardest to convince. They're not going through the fans or the ones that are highliners, hardliners. They just go through those that are like, okay, I guess I see this flyer everywhere. I'm gonna vote for this. That's what it is.
Nächsten Jahre und die kann man dann an einer Hand abzählen und die müssen gelöst werden. Und deswegen ist dieser Zuschnitt auf Personen auf starke Führungspersönlichkeiten ungemein wichtig. Und ich glaube, da öffnet sich etwas in Deutschland, was natürlich noch lange nicht so ist, wie wir es jetzt in den USA kennen. Aber ich glaube, dass diese Personenzentrierung wichtiger wird. Sie wird nicht alles, aber sie wird wichtig.
Join us over on Instagram for a deeper dive into German elections and politics. And let us know what you think of the German electoral system in the comments. I hope I can count on your vote, or at least a like.
I like her, Rachel. She's very good, and she's right on point in a lot of these videos. I like her. What do you guys think about this system? Why not asking Germans? What do you guys think about this? Do you guys like it? Do you guys like when you guys get the majority, or you voted for majority, but then some other party they're like, you know what? Even though the German people voted for you, you don't want you. Is that how it works, or this might be a little bit misrepresentative? Let me know. And how is this connected with what is going on right now? That's another thing, right? That party having 30%, right? How that party came to be? Because you have multiple parties. Why the other parties have not gotten 30% or 20%? That's my question. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.